Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Baby, lock the door and turn them lights down low.
That's we're not white enough to understand what that is.
That's a bit of a sticky one still.
I don't know when we like properly became friends or anything. So I don't know if you have a good memory of this. I have a rough memory.
Good thing. So I feel like I don't actually know. I know you obviously a little bit. I don't actually know Aaron that well.
Yeah.
Like I've always admired
we can
him,
mention
but as in I don't really. I just thought of Aaron as like honestly that wavy guy with like gums.
Say that for next time.
Nah. I'm not saying that in an episode. No. I was gonna save it for now. Hamish, don't edit that in.
Yeah.
All right, shoot.
Oh, I'm gassed now.
Welcome to another episode of The Third Wheel. I'm one of your hosts, Hamish.
And I'm your other host, Aaron.
And today we're joined for an end of year episode with one of our good mates, Zee. I'll now let him introduce himself right now.
Hi, I'm Zee. I know Aaron and Hamish from uni since I guess probably second year, I would say.
I'll say second. First year, I barely knew anyone, so I wouldn't say first.
yeah, you've mentioned that before. Yeah, probably second year of uni. I'm 23, turning 24, same as these guys. Yeah. That's where it did accounting and finance at uni, so something slightly different to you guys. Yeah,
different to everyone we've had on, really. I don't think anyone's from accounting.
No
and finance.
one's as boring enough to do accounting and finance at uni.
Probably.
Yeah. I can take that one. That's cool.
Though a lot of people do go into finance.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously like financial industry and stuff's quite an easy route to go into after you finish uni, and like it's fairly lucrative if you manage to do okay in it and whatever. But it's also quite an easy, like, to be honest, with the finance industry, I think like you don't really have to have done a degree like that to have actually go into it. Like I remember doing some work experience at City when I was like 16 or 17. And I remember the head of the department was like English and French major or something like at uni. So it's a bit mad. Yeah. It just like, it works out that if you have the analytical skills then you can do it sort of thing. But
no, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Just going back to like how we met. Do you guys meet in second year?
I'll say maybe a Hindu sock or through Yash somehow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Either it might have even been, was it third year?
It may have been third year. We may have like
seen each other nights out and stuff.
Like,
probably.
But the third year would have been, I think, third and fourth year. Wait, were you here there for fourth year?
Nah, I mean I came up a couple of times when I was like in between jobs and stuff. I was like, you know what, I miss Smack, so I came up and saw Nish.
Then it was like third year.
Smack's a club, just for the record, not the drug.
Yeah.
I didn't know Smack was a drug, but
that's what they all say. Yeah, I honestly I don't really know how we know each other.
I think it's probably through Yash.
Yeah.
I think
but I've felt this like pretty recently, like a lot of people I've like come back into contact with. Like a lot of people I never actually met them as in like a hi, I'm Aaron, hi, I'm whoever.
Yeah, I think that probably applies to us,
each
right?
other.
I feel like we've never really been like properly introduced. Obviously, recently we've been speaking on Instagram, DM or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think we've obviously played football against each other a few times on a Wednesday, like intramural stuff. But I think probably only seen each other a couple times here and there with Yash and stuff in the picture and like there as well.
One of those things I think where you just click and just get along. And then,
like I've always, I don't know Aaron potentially as well as I know you, Hamish, but like I've always been like, oh cool, like Aaron's doing this thing out here, like flexing with his clothes. There you go. I told you. I said it. I remember someone saying like there was a lot of mutual admiration as well. So I was like, oh, cool. Like obviously he respects me, I respect him, sort of thing. So I was like, cool.
That was probably Yash.
Yeah, probably. It's probably gassing in it. It's like Aaron actually hates him, but we're just gonna say that he really likes him. Cool.
Shout out Yash.
Yeah, and then accounting and finance. So when you like go for a job, as you were saying in finance, you don't really need to have a degree related to it. So I haven't worked for like a big financial company like that. Isn't the requirements not like a financial degree?
Obviously, you have to remember each company would have like different departments, etc.
I guess it's just the role. It depends on the role, really, innit?
And they obviously hire what they need. So technically, most degrees out of university, they would hire, and some literally hire on a different thinking basis. So if you did one course, you may think differently to the standard template of what people are looking to hire. Yeah. And thinking differently makes you develop different solutions, deal with problems in a different way, which is always a nice way.
Yeah, definitely. I think even people who did English and French and stuff, which obviously nothing to do with finance at all, they'd be still getting jobs and stuff in the industry. I think Hamish is right. I think everyone brings a different skill set. So you could have people who are doing like computer science and maths who brings like a very analytical mindset. You could have someone who's doing economics or, in the business school in whatever university, and then they could be bringing maybe a little bit more of a analytical mindset from a financial perspective. And then you can have maybe people who do like social sciences or history or English or whatever, and maybe they bring the element of even like emotional intelligence or like social etiquette or like that sort of stuff, which to be honest, like client facing sometimes is really key. I work for a company who is pretty middle class. So like, I think especially with like client facing roles, the sort of people that they have to deal with on a day to day, they're quite eloquent. They're quite well spoken. They sort of have probably either outwardly or like subconsciously, they have like some sort of standard that maybe they have to abide by, both from the company as well as the client, that they have as an expectation. So I think like to be able to speak eloquently enough, and having done a social science or an English sort of degree, I think that probably puts you in a better stead than potentially someone who does like maths, who's maybe a little bit more that way inclined in terms of like analysis and stuff like that. But yeah, like I don't really think it matters. As I say, I think every degree sort of brings its own perks, and I think it's about what you're after. I mean, some firms, especially like Deloitte, I think, and that sort of firm, they don't actually care as much with degrees and stuff. And I think that's a good thing, because I think at the end of the day, there's obviously like mitigating circumstances you can use, but actually, even aside from that, some people just don't thrive in exam environments, or they don't, they prefer coursework to that or whatever, which I probably fit into as a category. Like I think I did okay in exams at the end, but I had to work really hard to be able to get to that stage. And like some people just like, certain people at uni, I remember like they'll revise for like a couple of days and like, cool, I'm set, and they'll get like a 75. And I'm like, I don't understand that at all. I've had to work the whole year and I'm still sitting on a mid 60, but fair play to them, innit? It's one of those where I think unless you want to go and do like external qualifications, you don't need to be able to do that well in exams potentially. So it's not really that relevant to a role. So
yeah, no, I think I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. Everyone probably knows at this point I would prefer coursework as it is.
Yeah, no, I think I'm definitely in that boat as well.
What have you been up to since uni?
So since uni, so we finished July 2017. So yeah, so like since then I like joined like straight off the bat, pretty much like after probably like 4 or 5 weeks after finishing, I joined a firm that basically specialized in giving you a certain training in a certain field. So either in the tech stream like you guys actually, or more of a business stream. So they did that for like 8 weeks, and then they basically try and like contract you out to clients. So like HSBC, Barclays, BNP Paribas, I said HSBC, whatever, JP Morgan, like all these other big firms. Yep. And then basically like they'll contract you out for like 65, 70 grand a year, and they'll pay you like a fraction of that. So they basically build a business model on like literally just making the most out of like these delegates that have come here desperate for a job straight out of uni. So it was a bit of a weird one, because like the training was actually quite good, and I actually liked a lot of the people who gave the training for those 8 weeks. But it was a bit of a frustrating one for me, because I was sort of like luckily I was able to go to a really decent uni. Like somehow I managed to like pull off this 2-1. And so it was more of a case of like, if you look at like the average graduate salary in this particular field, I was like, I'm sort of being like shagged basically. Like I was sort of just like, it's a little bit unfair. How it worked out in the end was that after you finish your training, you have 3 months to get placed with a company, so like UBS, HSBC, whatever. And if you haven't got placed for whatever reason, then actually you can like go off and do your own thing. And some of these positions I wanted, and some of them I didn't. So I think in the ones I didn't want, I had to sort of play the game of like interviewing poorly, because there's one of those where if you did get it, there was no decision to be made, you went.
Oh wow.
So like so if it was in the UK, so Ireland aside and Europe aside, have you got a position anywhere there? So I think I remember they wanted to send me to Norwich at one point to work for Aviva, and I was like, I'm just not keen on doing that, like especially not for the salary I was being given. And I was like, I wouldn't be able to do anything. Like I'd have to pay rent, I'd have to like, if I wanted to come back home, I'd have to pay for extra travel, whatever, potentially pay for a car. So it's like, it just didn't make sense. So like I had to sort of play the game in that way. And like, it's one of those where like, it's a little bit.
So you feel like you actually had interviews where you like shagged it on purpose?
Oh no, I definitely did that. Yeah. I mean, I only, to be fair, like they did have a lot of decent roles. So like some with HSBC, some with BNP, etc. The bank, not the political party. And there were occasions where like I wanted them, and I just wasn't like good enough to get them, which is fair enough. But there were, like, I say, occasions where like I was just a completely different person. So like I'd like to think I'm like somewhat confident, but there was like occasions where I was in the interview and I was just like a shadow of the person, and like just like didn't know what to say. They're like, oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I was like, just nowhere near this industry, to be honest. Just like stuff like that. Or I'd be like, oh, like name a time where you've implemented something in like one of the work experiences you had. And I was like, well, I did this. And they're like, oh, I was like, how was that? And I was like, well, my manager didn't like it. So then they're just like, it was awful. But I was like, I had to do what I had to do to try and save myself and be able to.
I'm guessing none of those like, no one turned around and was like, oh, I really like the honesty from that.
No, of course not, right? Like if you're just like, oh yeah, so you want to work in insurance? I was like, I want to be a trader. As I said, they didn't really were like, oh, it doesn't really go hand in hand. But yeah, no. So like that was obviously what happened. And then after 3 months, like I didn't get the roles I wanted, and obviously like the ones I didn't want didn't work out for one reason or another, either through my own or maybe not. And then I think middle of January, I was like, okay, they were like, oh, we can give you an extension, like we could still get you placed. And I was like, nah, I think I'm going to go to the market. And like, I sort of backed myself at that point, and I was like, you know what, without sounding arrogant, I guess I was like, I think I have the tools to be able to at least be somewhat successful myself. And I don't think I need to be on a salary like half as much as I think the market value is. So I went to market, and I think like, luckily I had really, really like decent success, because I think I had a couple of rejections, and everywhere else that I interviewed at, I was actually still in the pipeline when I eventually took my offer. So yeah, I was interviewing for like 2.5 months, and then early April, I think I got my offer. So like from mid-April 2018 till now, I've been at my firm, which has been, good. So no complaints.
And you mentioned recently to me you have to like take some sort of test. Are you preparing?
Right, yes. I'm working towards a CFA at the moment. So I did
what's that like? People that don't know.
Right, so it's what
does that stand for?
What does it stand for? Right, yeah. So it's, the CFA is like actually a society. So it's the Chartered Financial Analyst sort of society. They do like not a prerequisite exam, but like something that a lot of people take before that. So they do what's called the IMC, so the Investment Management Certificate, which I think most of the graduates at the firm do straight off the bat when they join. So we roughly finished their qualification roughly the same time. I think they might finish in October 2018. I finished it a month later, so just over a year ago. And then following that, I was like, I can either go down the sort of wealth management master's route. I don't think it's actually a master's, but it's with a different institute called the CISI, so Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment. Or you can go down the CFA route and do like the actual CFA qualification itself. So I went down the latter route, and I was like, okay, let me start looking into this and whatever. And I think with the wealth masters, inevitably, even by the title, you can tell that it's sort of a little bit more niche, and actually probably just really for wealth management. So it doesn't really give that scope to be able to progress in a different direction potentially down the line. So I wanted to do the CFA, even though I think it's potentially a little bit more tricky and a little bit more prestigious, and hence a little bit more potentially a little bit more tricky to get around. But so I start that, I think as a course, I start that next month in Jan, and then the exams I think early June. So yeah, they start prepping you via a different learning company and stuff, which is ideal.
Yeah. So I was amazed at like some people I've spoken to, and they still have to do exams after uni. I thought like after uni, those days.
I mean, for most people, it's a choice. So it's a choice that maybe naively I'm making. But yeah, I mean, it's something that I think it would boost my employability, my skill set. I think it's all well and good studying finance at uni, but one, I found it hard and I wasn't particularly good at it. But two, it was also it was one of those where I was like, actually, if I do this myself, I'm going to be able to talk about finance in a very different way, in a much more analytical way, relative to like, as you guys have mentioned in previous podcasts, like maybe just doing uni stuff and actually just rote learning and just like memorizing and stuff, as opposed to actually understanding the content itself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
I think I have a few tests that I can do, but they're mainly AWS ones, and they're obviously when I want to do them. That's the only ones that
What's the AWS one?
So like AWS is, if you've heard of Amazon Web Services, it's their cloud ones.
Oh, cool.
And obviously that would help boost up not only my salary, but maybe boost up your skill set. And
sure.
It has like the qualifications help you get more cloud-based roles more easily than just saying, I have this experience, and then them trying to test out a technical interview. You already have that certification, but it's not like forced upon.
Yeah.
It's just if you want it, go for it. That's kind of thing.
And they sponsor it?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
But obviously, not that I even feel like I want to do an exam anytime soon.
No, I don't feel like I want to do an exam anytime soon.
Finding the time
comes
to
to the territory,
learn everything. Because I think it's going to be more like a memory test. Memory tests are my forte, so then I have to take the time out of my schedule.
Yeah.
Put in time to this. I want it, but right now, not enough to.
You don't think you'll be able to make time right now, right?
Not right now.
Yeah, no, fair. You got a lot going on and stuff. So.
Is the kind of like role and industry you're in, is that something you've been wanting to go into for like quite a while? I
think maybe the industry. It's just funny because actually Nish, who came on this podcast, he sent me something recently in one of our group chats, and he was like, "Oh, what would you say you wanted to do as like a kid, as a preteen, a teen, and like now?" The first two are a little bit of a write off because it was like be a footballer.
I think that's the same with me.
Yeah. I think it's probably most people in the UK sort of dream in it as a kid, especially potentially as a guy as well. Like it's very much that sort of thing. But I think as a teen, I think I sort of went into the route of, I think I did want to go into the financial industry, but I was potentially keen on like doing a lot of trading, so like investment and stuff, and like securities, some sort of assets, bonds, like shares, whatever, as like a trading option. And now obviously like I'm in compliance, which is like, it's okay. But it is something that I'm potentially want to like venture out of eventually. I think going into an investment route, whether it's actually trading myself and like being a portfolio manager potentially, or whether it's actually just recommending investments based on research and stuff that I've done myself, that's sort of like maybe where I want to go now. But yeah, so I feel like that's potentially the route that I want to go
Yeah.
down afterwards. But yeah,
What was yours? I guess in yours, teen and child ones weren't
So-
football player.
No,
grime rapper,
I started young.
No, to be fair, back then, like, well, I
Hamish
guess
MC.
no, as a child, I'd say, what age am I a child to?
What was the one?
I
Nish
was
said?
I was sort
it
of going
child or-
kid, so like maybe like until you were I don't know 8 or 9, and then preteen I'd say
Or
like
just like earliest
9 till
memory,
12,
kind of.
and then teen 13 to 18 roughly.
Okay, I'm gonna ignore the one before age 9 because I don't know what would I have done
Okay,
then.
fair.
I don't barely remember it. So
Okay, fair.
then I'll say up till the point I got like maybe secondary when I got my first computer, I'd say like I wouldn't have known, but when I got the first computer and realized that everyone else is obviously way better at it. I don't know if I've ever said this on air, but basically I saw that everyone else could always type and stuff because they already had computers, etc.
Right.
So in ICT, I was like, do you know when you're like
Yeah. Like
you're
you need
behind,
to
but
do,
it's
like,
not
accelerated
really
classes
fault.
to catch
Yeah,
up. So.
not really your fault at the time. So they'll put me in those classes, and I was like, "Fam, I'm not feeling like this." My mathematical ability finally started to come through and show. Then I just jumped from set 4 to set 1,
Oh,
maths
sick.
in CR 3, and then
Wait, so the you not having a computer affected your math set?
like, well, that didn't affect about like because I was good at maths just for some reason. That helped me doing comps like all the way
Oh,
through.
I see. Okay, got you.
And so when I got my first computer, like obviously that helped me like not only to do well at computers and I guess my drive to be better than other people, and not in like a rude way, but like how do I say it? Like I'm
Just
used-
be the best person you can. really.
yeah, like I didn't like being that person that was just like arguably the last person in the class to finish any work because
Right. Yeah.
I didn't know how to use a computer. Then from there it kind of stemmed, but I think since early like goals of mine included going into like software engineering or some sort of computers,
Right.
and then obviously like trying to own like some sort of company doing something. For now, it's played out pretty well. If you
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about it.
definitely.
And then that obviously from year 7 to year 11, so GCSEs
Yeah.
and everything. Like I based on just trying to get into the A levels. I saw why I needed to get comps at uni. I set my A levels on that, and what I needed at the A levels, I basically said these are the GCSEs I'm going with, and I'm just going to try power my way through, even though my school don't offer certain options like computing, etc.
Yeah.
And
What
that
made you
part-
so interested in computer science? Actually, both of you, I guess.
Yeah, so that was the thing. Like I never had it, and I didn't want to feel like behind other people, like in computers. Like everyone
Oh,
else
that's
could
so
type fast.
interesting.
One thing was like the typing fast. Everyone could type fast, whereas I'm looking for the keys on the keyboard.
So it
So-
was a case of like you getting to a certain stage
Yeah.
where you were like level with them, and then you actually just wanted to push through and like keep
Yeah.
going past that.
There was a
That's so
point
interesting,
in like
yeah.
year 7 or year 8, I taught my ICT teacher how to use Photoshop because he was struggling. He was meant to be teaching us how to edit something, and he was
Like,
just
the
like,
student has become the master.
I was just like, fam, no, this is some dead ICT class. So I went and learned it at home, yeah, because this, as I said, like I didn't like being. I just wanted to make sure I was going to be doing some form of computer science or something at the end.
Right.
So I learned it. I thought it was a part of it at the time as well. So when I learned it and I showed him, and he was like struggling to show everyone a tutorial in class, like, yo, you do something like this to edit this out in Photoshop to like grab this. I'm like, you could do this. You could use the magic wand tool. He's like, what's the magic wand tool? I'm like, you see that tool on your left? He's like, wait, everyone just go back to your computers to do something. He's going to come and show me. Like he took it quite well.
Oh, fair.
And then he just came over.
It sounds like he was trying to be really low key about it. It's like, Hamish, come to my desk. Don't show anyone else that you're actually showing me this.
No, then he came over. I showed him how to do it, and then he went and did it.
Oh, cool.
And he even gave me credit to be fair. Like this
Oh,
was
fair.
this one
Okay.
of those good like teacher things. I wouldn't say he was like the best teacher.
I think
like,
some teachers get hurt with like an element of pride if
Yeah.
you try and show them up.
yeah, like he was
Do you know
he
what I
would
mean?
definitely be under that category, but I think like I don't know why he
On
just
this
like rated
occasion,
me.
it was
I
alright.
think because of I guess I was a good student still in mostly, so he was fine with it. But like he didn't like. I wouldn't say he's the best teacher to have for everyone, especially like even then I still would have wished for a different ICT teacher, but
In what way was he just like a bit?
he was a bit of a like priggish and like I guess he didn't really know how to like I don't know if him teaching that age group was the right thing. I think he would have been a better university teacher.
Okay, was he a bit
'Cause-
like a bit too relaxed?
No, he's a bit too like maybe he can't like speak to like teach kids, I guess like in a more subtle tone, if that makes sense.
He's better like dictating maybe.
I think like you'd be fine with him. Like you wouldn't think he was a prick if you're at uni.
Right.
Like it's an age thing. When it comes with age, right? Like you're used to like, oh, this teacher teaches this way, it's fine. But
Right.
at that age, especially, you need the people who are like always going the extra mile to be kind, like super, super kind to you.
Right.
That's just my
Or like
opinion of this thing.
understanding or something.
Yeah, so like,
no, I get
but
that.
like the way he came across was never that, and it obviously because of my class was just getting in trouble constantly. It didn't help, but it was just good that I was in the good books at that time.
But he wasn't like a bad person.
I wouldn't say he was a bad person. I just say that like different teachers handle it different ways. I think he would have been a better university teacher than
right. No, I
a
get that.
secondary school teacher, in my opinion. I don't think anyone would say nice things about him anyways. I'll just say like he was a decent teacher. It's just I think he needed to be either a different school, somewhere that is not more accommodating to like the strictness he wanted. Because our school was like, doesn't remember everyone always had the issues, and then it would. I guess you could see it like play off into class, but we're not going to go into that kind of social norm and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that's the school wasn't for him, or he
Right.
should have taught at university. That's my opinion. And how did you get into computer science, Aaron?
Yeah.
So I guess when I was a kid and a teenager,
Oh yeah. Also, the whole kid preteen.
yeah.
teen.
And to be honest,
What's
I still think I could become a football player. You know, just kicking ball in the park, get scouted.
Right,
you know,
right.
Late age, you know.
Computer science captain.
Jamie Vardy start late, you know.
Cool.
But no, well, to be fair, actually, I never went. My parents never took me to like football classes, like lessons when I was young. So I'm adamant. If I did, I'll be Marcus Rashford these days.
Aaron and I share the same reasoning.
But yeah, no, I guess as a kid, wanted to be a football player, and teenager, as long like. To be honest, until it got to the point where I started watching football and the people playing were younger than me, that was when I was a bit like, okay, I guess it's time to.
I actually, funny you say that, because actually I had like one of my best mates. So I think you might know Josh.
I definitely,
I know
everyone.
him.
Right. So he was actually at Watford Academy when he was like between, I think, I want to say like 12 to 14 or something.
Sure.
And it was one of those where like, this is what I mean by like the whole, until I was a teenager, this is what I thought I was going to do. And then when he got released from Watford, who at the time were probably either a decent championship club or like a low league Premier League club, when he got released from there, I was like, wow, like if this guy, and I knew he was comfortably better than me, like especially in goal. And I was like, if this guy like isn't making it at this point, like I just don't know. And obviously like, you could argue, but he could get into like a second or third tier team, and like you could get into like a lower league team and they keep improving, whatever. But I don't know what it was. But like when I was 12, 13 years old and I heard that he'd like been released, I was like, there's just no way. It's just like, I think I need to give up on this dream. And like obviously on top of that, like as I say, my parents were keen on taking me to like religious school classes and stuff on Saturdays and stuff. So it doesn't really give you the scope to be able to join a club and like play, like train on a Saturday, play on a Sunday, that sort of thing. So I mean, don't get me wrong, like that stuff. I think if you like at the moment I'm playing Saturday League football at quite a good level. Like I'm pretty happy with the level I'm playing at. Me personally, as well as like the team around me and the quality of the people in the league. But you think about like how many tiers down it is from the Premier League to where I am, and I'm like, it's not a coincidence that I'm at that level and feeling comfortable. Actually, there are that many thousands of other people who can not only play my position but are comfortably better than me in this position. And I think like. Probably, I can't really say on America. Obviously, we could touch on that maybe from your side, Aaron, in terms of like how competitive it is in like an NBA space or like a American football space. But like particularly for football here, like it's just like near on impossible. Like the whole cliche of like you needed to be a bit lucky. I think it is true because like don't get me wrong.
For sure.
Like, I'm not saying if I got luck I would have been scouted and would have been there. But you know, even people who show really decent ability, you have to be lucky enough to have a scout there at the time when you're playing on top form. Do you know what I mean? So like all of that stuff I think plays into it a little bit.
I have a couple of questions on it. So like first of all, it's good that I guess at age 12, I say it's a pretty mad age to say, oh, he's better than me, because at age 12 you're probably thinking like, oh, I'm the best. Yeah, like, you know, like usually I'll think, at least from my point of view, I'd have been like, oh no, I'm trying to be the best then. I don't care if anyone's better than me, but it's mad to see that you saw it from that point of view. But now relating to the academy stuff, like do you have to pay for these things, or like how does this work? Like,
well, that's a good question. I mean,
I don't
I've never
know
been a part of one, I guess it is. So I can't tell you straight off the bat, but I think there's an element of like a subscription fee, and then I think after you pay that, I think they sort of like sponsor you to like they give you like, I think they give you like the kit and stuff like that. I don't think you don't get paid and stuff until you get a youth team contract. I think at like 16 or 17, then that's when you like start getting paid a little bit, and then you get a proper contract, I think, when you like turn 17 or 18.
Yeah,
that's where all like exactly. So I think you get like I don't know what it's called, like an apprentice contract or something at like 15, 16, 17 sort of age or whatever. But
on Football Manager, what's it called?
do you know what I mean? I think you get paid a little bit, but very little.
Yeah.
Same with like, I think Marcus Rashford was on like some money until he turned like 17, 18 and then started playing in the first team.
And you always hear stuff about like, I don't know, if you sign with them young, they'll give your family some.
Right. So there are probably other perks and
like
like overall compensation and stuff.
18 with a high top. You would have thought I was Marcus Rashford.
I hope that's coming up later.
You know what? If you know that bar, you know.
Go back to the computer science thing.
Oh.
To be honest, from an early age, I was always like interested in like tech and
Oh, cool.
like I remember making my very first email on Hotmail.
That's such a weird thing to isolate out. I
think
remember when I wrote "Dear Sir" / Madam, and it just stuck with me since then.
Then my uncle was quite like into tech, I also got a computer when I was like pretty young, but it wasn't a computer like a Windows computer. It was a computer where it was like its own software on it, and then all it had was like a drawing app and stuff like that. But it had like a keyboard, mouse, and that was like one of my first ever Christmas presents.
Oh, cool.
And then through school, in primary school, there wasn't really any IT stuff, to be honest. That was never a thing. Secondary school, yeah, there was IT, but it was always kind of just boring stuff like spreadsheets and Word and stuff like that.
Like in the actual lessons itself.
Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
And then I guess it was in secondary school where I kind of like fantasized the idea of being like a game developer, because then you kind of, I don't know, really got into games. I never had an Xbox or a PlayStation when I was younger.
Right.
Yeah, I was never allowed one of those.
I wonder
So
why.
it would affect our studies.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Typical Asian
Which
mentality.
is probably true, but
yeah.
It would have. It affected
yeah.
mine, I'd say.
Did you have one?
I managed to get one. I managed to like force my parents into it. And like year 8, I was like, look at my grades. My grades are so sick. I'll keep doing
Let them
it.
drop off a little bit.
And then I used like all the Diwali money I'd ever got, and then
Mad.
managed to get it. And then I used
the
to play
piggy
Call
bank
of
got done out here.
Duty.
It got smashed up.
Every year I would need to still ask for them for some more money. I'd get the Call of Duty and then I'd just play. And then I stopped at like GCSEs.
Did you never used to play like FIFA? And
oh,
stuff?
so you were allowed to
never-
play Call of Duty as well?
That's quite mad, you know?
They didn't
Right.
really, I guess, I wouldn't say they appreciate it. They would like try to get off, like, but I would do my work and stuff like before. Like, I was still like, grandma, I still wanted to be better than everyone else. Like,
Especially at computer science, yeah.
yeah. So, like, I had to go make sure all my work was done. Like, I wasn't going to get like shit for it. I wasn't going to get a shit grade.
No.
Because obviously, my whole banter, my like whole, like, how do you call it? Bartering point for this was that my grades will not drop. Although, then arguably, then exam flops that at GCSE would have kept it like I never got an A star at GCSE, which is a madness considering why I ended up with that A levels. So yeah, that was like a one big thing as well. Like I had actually had a PlayStation, but the thing was like I wouldn't be able to play as late as anyone else or anything because
Right.
the TV that I played on was in my parents' room. So in my flat, I only have basically the living room, a box room, and my parents' room.
Right.
So my parents' room would be where there's a small TV was at that time, and I'll just hook the PlayStation up to that, and I'd have to hook it up and unhook it every time I had to play. So
Right.
I'd play like for maybe 1-2 hours in the evening, nearly every day, and then that was it until like exam time.
What was a big transition from like GCSE to A level then? If you like smashed A level and
It was more that I think I just ended up finally getting to work on more concentrated topics because obviously
ones you liked and
GCSE
stuff.
you had to do like 12, 13.
yeah, right.
And whereas in A levels, you're just doing like, I did maths, further maths, applied ICT. We didn't have computing once again.
Right.
And I had to obviously at the beginning pick up economics as the fourth one. Because,
Yeah, you mentioned this actually the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, so
the
like-
podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to obviously do a fourth AS and
Mm.
then drop it. But in hindsight, that was still a bad idea to just flop that one anyways.
Would you have done 3 and 3 then?
Yeah, I don't know. If I wanted a fourth, it would have been physics or like, if there's like a better applied ICT one or computing one,
Right.
I'd have done it because it would have just helped in my case.
Right.
For A levels.
Yeah, but I think me sticking to 3 was probably the better thing to do anyways.
I did 4 A levels, low key flex.
But they wouldn't. They also wouldn't. Yeah,
Not
let
even
us.
low-key, it's
They-
just high-key.
You have to understand that most people.
off cool.
Yeah. Low key flex. I'm great.
Yeah, most people in our school. I'm pretty sure only a few would have got like an EPQ one or something like.
yeah, did he?
I wasn't even selected for the EPQ one or anything.
Oh, you had to get selected.
What's CPQ?
I don't
So it's
know
an
what
extended project qualification. So it's like a little dissertation
yeah,
that you could
yeah.
do.
I didn't do
It was
that,
actually
though.
really like I really enjoyed it because I did maths, economics, and French, and then I did further maths AS, which was really hard because I didn't apply myself enough. And I did an EPQ during my final year of school, so like year 13, and I did. So it's basically like a mini disso on like something that's kind of relevant to your field.
Yeah, I remember
So, like,
it now. I just didn't choose to do it.
Yeah, so like, I did. I applied for economics and finance at 3 out of my 5 universities, and then one of them was finance, accounting, and management at Nottingham. And then I actually applied for economics and industrial organization at Warwick, and then didn't get it. They were like, "Do you want to do management?" And I was like, "No offense to any management students if you are listening from Warwick, but they were like, I was like, I don't know. It's sort of like accounting, more like economics, accounting, of finance, management. So I was like, can we do accounting and finance? I spoke to my cousin and he was talking about how like a mad trajectory Warwick's on. Like at the time, it'd only been around 49, 50 years. And it was already competing with like LSE, UCL, Oxbridge to an extent. So I was like, okay, cool, let me do accounting and finance. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because like, I was like, if I'm doing accounting and finance, I should really, or like something financy based, or businessy based, I should really like try and tie that in. As you guys know, like I'm mad into football. So I was like, how do I tie the two of them together? So I actually did my EPQ on to what extent are the principles of business management prevalent in football management, which I thought was like so interesting. Because I was like studying all these like managers, like their tactics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, at least I thought it was like proper interesting. But yeah.
To help me set up my computer, and whenever it used to break down when I first got it, I'd have like one of like two cousins that would come and help me. Like I didn't even know them that well. One I forgot, one I think works at like HPE or something right now, and then the other one I don't actually know because I've obviously lost touch over the time.
Right.
But one probably thinks I like hate them still, but like I never hated them. It's just that at the time I was just the type of person where everything I think I said sounded in a mad way. But like one of the cousins, like, because I was a bit like, I didn't really know how to talk to people, I would say. So like, I think I would just put it in a ruder way. I'm like,
really blunt.
You got to help me, yeah.
Right, okay.
But then I eventually learned. Once I obviously figured it out myself, then I didn't really ask anyone else for help. And then that was it, really.
I think I just got gassed up at an early age. Everyone being like, "Oh, Aaron, you're so good at computers," and really, I just knew how to Google stuff.
Did you ever get called a hacker?
Yeah.
Did you ever get called a
Whatever it was
hacker?
in the day.
Because you know when you're good at computing, like they just used to get calling me a hacker.
Yeah,
a
like,
hacker,
are
blah, blah, blah.
you a hacker? Even last year in like America, like, oh, can you hack? I think it's just a thing. Like people do computer science, and someone, someone doesn't. Yeah, sometimes they ask you if you can hack because they want you to hack something.
Yeah. And sometimes they're just nosy.
Yeah, I've hacked. I got paid to hack a few like BlackBerries back in school.
Really?
Or like to unlock them.
What do you mean by hack though?
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
Basically, you could just.
But to them, it was kind of like it seemed like I was hacking it.
It was basically just finding a loophole, unlocking that loophole, and then you could do like stuff that you're not meant to, that isn't covered by your warranty or insurance on your BlackBerry. Like download some games and stuff for free.
Yeah, like jailbreaking an iPhone.
Oh, okay, interesting.
And the thing is, I was just like, yeah, sure. I didn't know how to do it. I just went home and Googled how to do it.
Right.
Took the money.
Knew how to read.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
The kind of thing. Followed instructions.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I think it was just more like that stuff. But then I was always like, as I got older, like the possibility of just, I was kind of creative. I saw myself as kind of creative as well. I did art at A level and I did design. I really wanted to do design, like graphic design at A level as well. But it clashed with like, when I was choosing my A levels, we had to choose from certain blocks.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
you
I
had
do.
the same kind of thing.
I don't think we had the same thing at A level actually. I think we had it at GCSE, where it's like, you have to pick
because the
one
timetable clashes
humanity.
and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That was the reason
like
for
that.
us.
Okay, fine. Now ours was more like at GCSE. I think they wanted all of us in our year to like have a breadth of like knowledge from different areas.
No.
So that like you have to pick from at least one from RSP. So religious studies and philosophy, geography or history, and then like one language, so either French, Latin, or Spanish.
Oh yeah, but to do
and then
language,
at least one. Oh no, an optional was like, you can do it like a creative subject, so like drama, art, music, and I don't think it was DT, but it was like something else, one of the other ones. So it's, again, just to like have a more like all-rounded individual in inverted commas, I guess. I mean, some people ended up just doing stuff that was like specific, like sort of similar to Hamish, where it's like specialized in a specific field anyway, like after when it came to A levels. But I mean, I guess for me, I think it was a good idea from the school, because I think otherwise people go too down one path. And actually you see it quite a lot where someone tries to go down a specific path and actually they realize down the line, whether it's like uni, exactly, right? So they'll do whatever they want to do. And then like, especially like vocational courses and careers and stuff like dentistry, medicine, whatever. I have a friend of mine who like did 2 years in dentistry, and then he was like, actually, it's not for me. And like he went back and like did a different degree. But like the point is that dentistry is so
niche,
not siloed, but like it's so niche, or like very directed towards a certain career, that actually if you don't want to do it, you do have to start again, because it's like, or you don't actually,
your options are too limited.
Start again, but like you have to like switch to a different course. You can't just then make a transition over and then do biomedicine or biochemistry for a year and then graduate, right? So because you're directed in that way, then becomes a little bit more tricky. But that's why like I think sometimes having a breadth is a good thing, especially at a young age. But then I guess it depends on which way.
No, that's I think that's quite a nice idea actually. But I don't think that was why our school
you said yours was a table.
Mine was just mine was just a pretty small sixth form. So actually, further maths, computer science, and graphic design were all in the same block, so I couldn't choose them, and they were 3 ones I wanted to do. So actually, I played around with the idea of going to a different like college, but I was just too lazy to be honest.
But so you did computer science, and then you did. I remember you saying with Luke, you did like a further maths outside of school or something.
No, we didn't in the end. We wanted to because we did our maths a year early.
Right.
So That's
yeah,
why
you know what?
I did
Actually, I
four.
heard you mention this. I was actually doing the same C3 paper as you did, which
Oh,
was
really?
like a fuckery.
Yeah.
That was a bit mad.
Yeah,
I fucked that one for the record. like I think most of the UK did, but yeah.
I ended up doing maths, physics, art, and computing.
Oh, cool.
Computer
Art.
science.
How was that?
Art.
Yeah.
Art was a weird one because I did better at art A level than I did at GCSE.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay. Was that? Did you do? You say
I
you did
did-
4?
yeah, I did.
So you did it all the way to A2.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And
Yeah.
Was it not like really? I've heard it's really time consuming.
Art?
Though. Yeah.
Yeah, massively time consuming. But I kind of, I wasn't as good as everyone else. I wasn't the worst in the class, but I wasn't near the best
Yeah,
either.
right.
Like what I did was I was very good at making my work look good. As in, at the end of the year, you had to put in some sort of portfolio,
Right.
and I was very good at taking my art pieces, putting it in the portfolio, making it look like really presentable, then having lots of like text to explain my ideas, and rather than
Well, you
people
did
who
have
just,
a lot of text. Or you didn't have a lot.
I
of
did.
text? Oh, okay.
like just to explain my ideas and my thought process, which I
Right.
think got you a lot of marks.
Right.
Rather
Because
than
of the
just putting like
analysis and,
really
the-
good artwork
Right.
in, like, and all that.
Got you.
And
So you don't actually think
I
that
did a
your
lot of
art was
computer
actually
stuff
not
as
that
well.
Good, but it's just like the way that you presented it at the end that actually got you a lot of points.
yeah, it wasn't as like people might look at it and be like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah,
but
yeah. As
to
in,
me, it
that's
wasn't as-
probably, that's probably
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Like I think
art's very subjective as well. It's like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
But compared to like some other people in the class who are like, they could
Insane.
paint something and it looks like a photo. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I wasn't like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I dabbled a bit in like digital art as well,
Oh yeah,
which
right, yeah, I
not
was
many
gonna-
other
actually, I
people
was thinking
did,
about that,
which
yeah.
was like kind of cool. But yeah, I had that creative side, and I thought computer science and game design, web design, that all kind of like fit together. And the idea of like coding something up and making something that people can use was kind of my like driving force behind computer science, really.
We can, I guess, switch it to more positive memories, maybe at university or something.
Yeah. Well, there's you two both been to a few gigs recently.
Oh yeah, we went to, the only one we went to together is actually gigs.
No, that's not true. We went to Travis Scott together as well.
Oh shit, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I mean, I forgot about that. That one, I've been to like so many recently. It's like
He just
all a
goes to
blur.
too many mosh pits now. He just gets all blended into one, literally.
Yeah, so he was there, me, Nish, and a few of your friends from home.
School friends. Yeah,
And
This isn't what we mentioned on Nish's episode.
it's
it
basically that
probably
one.
is.
Wait,
Yeah,
it's the same.
yeah.
So
we
it was
thought
a mosh pit
yeah.
entirety throughout. I didn't see Nish from the start of the night till the end of the night.
I didn't see you.
Oh,
either.
and you, yeah. Like-
I was actually by myself. It was one of those where like, not even from like a.
But at concerts, you can have fun with anyone because they're all there for the same reason.
Yes
I
and no.
think.
I mean, I think with Travis Scott, like I like his music, but I wouldn't say I'm like a massive fan. So like, I don't regret paying the money. I don't regret going. But like, unless you like with gigs, which I presume we'll talk about later, like that was one of those where like I'm quite a big fan of gigs. So like I know his lyrics, so I can vibe with it even just by myself. Whereas with Travis Scott, it was a little bit more for me personally on like more of a social element of like got to chill with you, got to chill with boys from school, and it was more of a like we'll go to the concert together. So like I still enjoyed it, but one, the mosh pit at Travis Scott was a bit mental, and two, I lost everyone within like 5 minutes after like he
so you're
came out.
losing that social
So it was
aspect
one of
to it,
those where I was like sort of by myself, and I was like, I mean, it's cool, it's a vibe, but it's also like I'd rather be like chilling with boys and like a couple of girls there as well,
Yeah.
like people who I like know and care about.
I tried to make myself through the mosh pit to see if I could find you guys, but I just had no luck. It's just a
again,
madness.
This was at the O2, right?
Yeah.
So like it's almost impossible to like be able to find each other in like such a massive venue where like
Yeah.
the mosh pits are massive and everything. So
If it was like Brixton or something, we could have found each other.
right,
but-
probably, or even when we went to what was it, Wembley Arena the other day,
Yeah.
it wasn't probably big enough for us not to find each other if we're in the same vicinity. But O2 is so massive that like you're just not gonna find each other. It's just game over really. Shout out Dave. Yeah, no, but as in that, obviously after that we went to, so that was really cool. Some of the lighting and stuff. I think I've got a few photos of that. And
Yeah,
stuff.
you took
It's like-
photos, and I appreciate you taking them because I don't take pictures. So
yeah,
it's
it's one of
obviously-
those where like that's a really interesting one because I think we spoke about this
Yeah.
at the time. Hamish doesn't take any photos or videos, right? And for me,
Oh
like,
well, at concerts I sometimes do. Like at gigs, I didn't take any.
right, yeah,
example.
gigs in particular. For me, I try not to too much. Like I think I'll take a few for like maybe a 10 seconds like stint, and I just think it's so interesting because now people just like have their phones out the whole concert. They're like Facebook living, or they're like recording the whole thing on Snapchat.
You're like watching it
and
through
stuff.
your phone rather
Fully.
than actually
And I'm
seeing
like,
it.
you know what?
I
I
can't
get
do
it
that.
to an extent. Like I've done it at football games on occasion when it's like
Yeah.
a penalty or something. Like I will record it because I remember being at like the playoff semi-final to get promoted, and in the end we did in 2014. And like I don't really
like a
regret.
memory.
I don't really regret
memory,
taking
yeah.
that because one, I recorded it, but we're still looking over.
Yeah, I tend to
and
do
two,
that,
yeah, and two, it was like a 10-second thing. It wasn't like I was recording the whole game. But with gigs and stuff, like gigs generally, like single G, I'm like, I don't know why you're like, or concerts, I don't know why you're like recording the whole thing. Like, be in that moment and enjoy it, because actually in an hour's time you're gone. Like, do you know what I mean? In an hour's time you're going back home, and you're not going to be back in this present moment. Do you know what I mean? So I know that sounds really philosophical, but like my point is that like just, I don't know, for me personally, I'll take a few photos and videos as like Hamish and Nish would have seen, but like I won't take many.
Yeah, so like
I like to try and, especially if it's like an artist I really like, I want to be there present, like with the artist and with the people around me. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, like, I feel like you're missing out on the energy, but then
100%.
as we were speaking about, I guess before the podcast, it's like we grew up in maybe times where getting your phone out wasn't the first option to do, or we didn't maybe not had phones, etc. Like we weren't up there to take pictures, put it on.
But this is why you
Insta,
have,
Twitter,
like, this is why you have people from like generations above going, oh, back in my day, this is why.
No,
because
like
we
that,
don't really, fully, and I appreciate that. People who, if they're anyone like 16, 17, 18 is listening to that, even like Keon, they're probably like, oh, well, this is the way it is now, or whatever. But I think it's, for me personally, I just think it's a little bit, I wouldn't say different generation, because I don't think we're old enough to say stuff like that. But it is a different like mindset maybe, and like the sort of teenagers or like young adults now maybe think a little bit differently to, it's also about culture though. Like I think there are people who are like 23, 24, 25 who probably do that as well, because they need that external validation, or they need this like sense of like, oh, I want to show everyone that this is where I am and stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'll still post about gigs. I didn't post about gigs actually, but I'll post about like, I don't know, Travis Scott when I went to Drake in like April and whatever.
I was glad you did that, because I think I needed like some way to remember that night, because you usually have the ticket from every night. I tried to keep the ticket.
Mate, Drake's one, I spent like £142 or something in like the standing section. I don't regret it at all. I literally turned to someone, I just turned to Shri actually, and like some of the friends that I was with, and within like, I think 7 or 8 minutes of the concert, I was like, it's made up. Like I was so, but I mean, Drake's probably my favorite artist. Him and AJ Tracy probably. So at the moment, so the two of them, like, and let's say Drake specifically, I'd probably say Drake overall. The fact that it was that expensive, but like, the concert was like awesome, and Hamish will probably be able to attest to that. Like, it was,
wait, you said J Hus night? Which night?
Yeah, it was the J Hus night. Yeah,
the thing was though, like even though J Hus and stuff came out, like don't worry, I love J Hus here, but the Drake 140 for that. Afterwards, obviously, when I went to £30 concerts for like Dave, Heady One gigs, Skepta.
Maybe the value for money wasn't the same, but I for me personally, like I've been to, I don't know how many concerts, not that many, probably like 6 or 7. I'd still say it was my favorite concert, because like I think even though it was that much money, it's one of those where like for me, I'd probably say Drake is like, I know Drake's songs probably more than like any other artist. So like relatively, given that like every song he did, it was like, oh, that's a banger. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those. So like just like losing my voice and stuff. I was worried the next day though, because it's on a Friday, and the next day I had football, and I was like, I'm just not going to be able to shout at my defenders at all now. So I was a bit like, might have to get substituted after 5 minutes. But yeah, no, like that was an awesome.
I think it was quite different, because like when he was playing some of the old school stuff, the stuff that I would definitely know the lyrics to, like I think headlines, trophies, all this stuff. He only played like one lyrics worth, or just looped that like they know, and then that's it. Went to it, and I was like, I was thinking like he's gonna come back, play them out fully like other artists would do. And
he
then
did some like decent ones I remember. Like I think he did trophies
a bit,
but he also did like, he did like stuff like Started From The Bottom. For me, like those ones that actually, the thing with Drake is that like I think the stuff that actually charts I don't like as much as the other stuff I listen to, and that's not me trying to be a hipster. I just think like things like Hold On, We're Going Home, Started From The Bottom, Take Care, it's good. I'd listen to it, but it's not the ones I like go on like straight away. Like those are the ones that like, and I guess it's because it's maybe a little bit more of a poppy sort of feel, and I prefer Drake sort of hip hop, R&B, rap sort of stuff, or hip hop and rap more specifically, I guess. But and obviously he's done like really, really well in terms of like branching out to different avenues in terms of different genres of music and those sorts of things, like Afro beats, grime now as well, like pop to an extent, like
when Drake endorsed the UK scene, like fully like came on and endorsed it. I feel like that probably helped it. Not only helped the UK scene, that also helped him out, because
100%.
There's some people that probably didn't listen to American music till Drake.
You think so? Well, I think like exclusively.
I don't listen to much, American stuff personally. Like I listen to like Drake, Travis, like maybe a bit of Logic,
but like select artists.
So like I wouldn't listen to like 50 Cent, can't forget.
You just completely forgotten, mate. Would have been gutted after the podcast, like, oh shit, I didn't say 50 Cent.
I'll die inside.
You'd have to record just a bit to add in.
So I was like, so like when he did that, like I was like, I'm glad you did that because, and then that obviously helped him for his
It's
album.
just clever.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I just think that like for me personally, people talk about The Weeknd. For me, and I'll probably get loads of stick for this, which is fair. I'm not a really big Weeknd fan. I prefer the stuff he did until maybe like 2012, 2013, where it was like really nice R&B stuff. But I think more recently, like I Can't Feel My Face and stuff like that, I'm not a big fan of pop. And so when he went down that avenue as opposed to sticking to like hip hop and R&B, like the sorts of same vibes that Drake did, for me personally, like I don't really like it.
He's kind of come back to it, you know that. Like
He's actually
after that,
too much of it.
you know
I sort
that
of lost interest, but I actually haven't listened to him.
What was that Starboy album? What was that album called? You know
Starboy?
the one with Can't Feel My Face and stuff.
Starboy.
Was it Starboy? The album?
I think it's called Starboy.
Okay, yeah. So after that album,
there was another one after that.
Yeah, but that one may have been a more mellow one. But then after that, he came back to R&B. But
okay.
the thing was, he never actually started as an R&B artist. I think he started as like this,
A pop guy.
like I'd say like a slow kind of. I'm not saying
See, I
mellow,
don't mind slow, but there's a difference between because like R&B probably fits.
Are you thinking like the
slow.
Hills, etc.? Like
Yeah.
So
like
that wasn't
stuff.
how he started. Like his music,
Right, and
So,
all
yeah.
I'm saying is like not like this is how he started. I missed the old Weeknd. That's what I'm trying to say. But like that sort of period of like 2010 to 2013, 2012. That's when I was like I really liked him. Like I would listen to him like voluntarily as opposed to like it comes up and I'm like do I skip it? Do I not? Sort of thing. But yeah, like the thing I think with Drake is like obviously I'm a bit biased, whatever. Like I'm a big fan, whatever. But I think what he's done is he's entered loads of different sub industries in the music industry, and he's just like completely killed it. Like pop, R&B, hip hop, rap, grime, Afro beats, everything. He's combined with Wizkid. He's combined with Skepta. He's combined with Lil Wayne. He's combined with
Gigs.
Rihanna. Like whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to look at different genres. But yeah, gigs as well. Yeah. So it's just a bit. He did combine with Skepta, right? Yeah. Skepta interlude. Yeah. So that's what I mean by like I think he's like in my opinion, he deserves a lot of credit for that because not only has he done it, but he's done it very, very well. But yeah, no, that was good. And then obviously like the gig situation.
Should we just go from
only 3 weeks ago or whatever? But
so at the time of recording this, it was on December 6th was when we went to watch gigs. It was
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Me, Nish, Krishan, Fraser, one of Nish's work friends, and
Shri.
Yeah, Shri. So basically, we just went. The first thing that happened was that they had no cloakroom at Wembley.
Oh, that was mad.
What the fuck?
We get in and like just before Christian was like, oh yeah, it's cool. They have a cloakroom. It's a bit expensive. And he's like, no, he didn't even say that. He was like, I think it's like £2-3, maybe max 5. I was like, okay, cool. And then we get
That's
there.
what I was under the
Yeah,
impression.
fully.
That's
And
what
like to be fair, like even if that is an assumption, it's probably a fair assumption to make. Like I wasn't that mad at him for thinking that. Although he did seem really adamant, but fair. And then like after we got inside, they were like, yeah.
No
Someone
cloakroom.
said, oh yeah, go downstairs and like do it in there because there's not really a cloakroom, so that's the best place to do it. I was like, sick. The guy's giving us inside information. Let's go in that little corner. We're done. Yeah, we go there. It's literally just a reception for like people to like sign in or something. Yeah, so we go there and they're like, she was like, yeah, like if you, I mean.
You can put one bag in.
If you really want to, you can store your stuff in. I'm like, okay, sick, perfect. They're like, yeah, it's £10 per item. Everyone was wearing coats. Everyone bought a bag, and I was like, "There's no way between all of us we're spending £100 at this cloakroom." It's just
And
not
they
happening.
wanted it in cash.
Yeah, no card machine or anything.
Was this after work or something?
It was a
Yeah,
Friday
it was
night.
a Friday night.
I was working from home. I was fine mostly.
Yeah, I was working at the office, so I came straight from there.
We managed to convince the security to actually let us
I
send
don't
two
think
of
you're
us
meant
out
to.
and just like so, but you're not actually allowed re-entry back in. So we convinced them to just let us take all our stuff, go dash it in the car,
Yeah.
and then come back to us. And then that's what we did because most people were wearing this
Oh,
stuff
you
on
had a
the car.
car? Or someone?
Well, Krishan drove and I
Christian
believe Zee
drove.
drove. I didn't know that Zee drove.
I didn't drive. I came straight from work, but because my mom has a shop in like Wembley, I was like, actually, because I need to drop Nish home anyway, I can at least take his stuff to my car and then drop it off there. In the end, we just put it all in Krish's car. But yeah, so like we ended up doing that, and then obviously that worked out all right in the end. But it was a bit mental.
Bit long.
Yeah.
But I'd rather not pay £10. And they didn't want
fully. There was no way I was
fuck
doing
that.
that.
I was
Nah.
but then despite that,
Rather not go to
it
the
was still a
concert.
sick night. It was still like a really,
Just out
really
of
sick night.
principle.
And then we just went on and had enjoy this concert for some reason. There wasn't as many mosh pits going on at all, or
Yeah,
if
it was
any.
a bit of a weird one. We sort of had to create our
Yeah,
own
we
one.
started.
Yeah. And like we ended up being on like Drake's little story and stuff on Instagram and stuff, which is
Gigs,
quite cool.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Let's say
Gigs.
Drake.
Yeah,
my
you
bad.
said
Drake. Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
obsessed.
I've seen it.
Yeah, on Giggs' story. And he was just like, yeah, a bit of a madness down there or something like that. And it was something that I think Hamish, Nish and I sort of created, which is cool.
And the thing was, so when we started off that mosh pit, I remember in the video that you see of Giggs, when he thinks he wrote like it's bare dangerous out there.
Yeah,
or something. And the guy in the white top that got like the beg, boost from because he was like raving so hard in the middle. Like he looked over at us when we all fell down in that domino effect. Yeah. And he was just like, oh shit, he took a video and then he just went back to raving. He's like, oi. It's such a funny thing to watch. I don't know, maybe post it with the Insta or something. Like, I think you recorded the screen.
I think I still have it.
Yeah, so could you send me a copy of that? I need a copy, despite me falling down. So now, since we've been on music so much, I'm going to transition us into a bit of a music game, a bit of a lyrics game between you and Aaron. So I'll explain the rules really quickly. So
a little nervous.
There's two rounds. Okay. So there's round 1 and round 2. In round 1, there's basically I cater a few songs to each of you.
Okay.
Based on your playlist, and you have to try and guess the next lyric also, and the song name and song artist. There's 1 point for each of those.
So 3 things.
Yep. Cool. If you can, wherever you can do, you'll have an option to steal from.
How close does the lyric have to be word for word? Or?
No, not word for word. You can be as close, unless it's if it's like a 2-word lyric that you can't possibly.
Oh, okay, fine, fair.
And I tried to use the Betas lyrics.
And does it include ad libs and stuff or not?
No ad libs. If you want to give ad libs,
if you start doing like AJ Tracy, then ad libs are gonna come in left, right, and center.
Yeah,
Lamb.
so like there'll be option to steal. And round 2
option to steal. Okay, cool.
And then
I don't know how easy that would be to
round 2 is first to guess, basically.
Cool.
And there'll be some potential bonus questions in it. So if I don't think you know it, there'll be like either ×2, ×3, or ×4.
Are we doing like a little buzzer thing for the?
Yeah, you'll have to figure that out between yourselves.
Cool. All right.
I can award and deduct points as per my wish. And if the points are tied, then I'll do a tiebreaker round, which is highly unlikely after the first 2 rounds, anyways. So
all right, let's do it.
The first one of round 1 is for Aaron. She told me, "Don't worry about it." She told me, "Don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it." She told me, "You'll never be in love."
It's a bit deep, that.
I've got no idea. I'm not even going to be able
the
to
next
see
bit is the chorus. I'm just thinking in my head. Like, I'm singing in my head.
No, you're giving him head movements, man.
She told me, "Don't worry about a thing." That's not the one that.
No.
You're gonna be punching yourself when I tell you what this is.
What the fuck, man?
Not Nish, Z. You may be able to actually guess this because here's one hint. We spoke.
Don't worry.
This song has come up either in our car ride or as we were speaking about earlier today, within the last few hours.
So it's like a grime track.
No, it doesn't.
She told me, "Don't worry no more. I can't feel my face when I'm with you. Can't feel my face. Can't touch my face. Can't feel my face." The Weekend. Okay. I can't feel my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got the next thing. So you actually get all points for that. It took you long enough. I thought you weren't going to get it.
I was just going to guess Drake.
Time limit.
Yeah, to be fair,
The podcast won't know this, but he did take 5 minutes to do this.
Oh my God. Oh my God. If I die, I'm a legend.
Yeah, okay. So it's Legend by Drake. And the lyric is, can I go with oh my God as the next 2 bars?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sick.
Oh my God. That was ridiculous. I thought it was like, "Oh my God, look at her," but at the beginning. But.
No, that one was easy. Okay, fair. That's 3-all. And unfortunately, the listeners are going to think that was done in the same time period.
It totally was, you know.
This one's for Aaron. So currently the scores are basically 3-3. Took an oath that I'ma stick it out till the end. Now that it's raining more than ever, know that we will still have each other. You can stand under my umbrella.
Oh, Rihanna, Umbrella.
What's the
You
next
can
one?
stand under my umbrella. Ella, under my umbrella. Do I need to keep going on?
It's good.
Okay, cool.
You get all 3 for that?
Yeah.
You should have stopped before Umbrella, mate.
I knew it. I didn't know it, but I recognized like something.
I think by the second line, I clocked it. I was like, I really hope Aaron doesn't know this.
When I did like this, I was like, okay, I've got to sing it in my head.
Yeah.
So now this one you should get. No matter which lyric I say, I feel like you're going to get it anyways.
Okay.
Tracksuit grey, black, blue. I was just a hopeful kid like you. Left end's broke. Got a win. Can't lose. Everything fresh when I came back through.
Yeah, so it's what's it? It's AJ Tracy, and it's I think it's called Blacked Out, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I was gonna say, this is like, I rate this song. Sin didn't roll, brother. That's not true. I'm not second, but I am top 2.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Hot raw.
Like if you didn't get that, I was gonna be shocked.
Yeah, I would have been. That was, I think, in 2018, maybe 2017. It was probably in my top 5 songs that I listened to, like in the summer especially. And one of my mates sent me that song in like August or September. And that was probably like one of the turning points of me listening to AJ Tracey, because I heard like a few songs like Pasta, Thiago Silva and stuff. And then I started listening to that whole of that EP and then like all the stuff that followed. And I was like, this guy's sick.
I remember at uni, someone thought like in fourth year that I wouldn't know my music. Like, and they're like, oh, now you wouldn't know your grime as well as you think you do. And they just started playing a few tracks on DCS. So they, you know, when the instrumental comes to this, you know what's coming next. I'm like, tracksuit black. Right?
He's like, oh, you fucked it.
I fucked it, but like at the time, in my you know what I mean? Like, it was, I was just going.
That's amazing.
And he was like, wait, there's no way you know the bars to that. I'm like, I don't remember the name right now, but I know those are bars because I'll never forget.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, fuck. And
the guy thought I didn't know my bars. And I was like, tracksuit yellow. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
Okay, now this one's Aaron. She take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed.
Oh, Gold Digger. Kanye West.
Yeah.
I think anyone should have got that.
Don't need to give. You give me R&B songs.
What's the next lyric?
If he's giving you, if you're giving his
Friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger. Way over time.
Yeah.
Who digs on me? Something like that.
Yeah.
You're good. Jesus, pretty tight so far. So
this is
final one of round one
so far, right?
Yep.
And all 3 points so far as well. No pressure.
I'm counting my bullets. I'm loading my clips. I'm writing down names. I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice and I'm getting them hit.
MC Santa.
The real one's been dying.
Oh, no. Oh, mate. So I know it's Drake, right?
I can't answer that. You're going to have to give me a final answer at the end. So it's like N-word, been counting me out. I'm counting my bullets. I'm loading
It's not Drake. It's J. Cole. It's not Drake, it's J. Cole. That's my final answer for that.
I'm counting my bullets. I'm loading my clips. I'm writing down names. I'm making a list.
I'm checking it twice. I'm getting them hits.
Gonna find out who's naughty. Nice.
Topical.
I can steal this, yeah.
I think.
You know it?
No, I was gonna say Michael Bublé, but
I think it's. I'm going with KOD. The fake ones get hit.
I'll give you that. It's the fake ones is lit.
Oh,
The game is off balance. I'm back on my shit.
yeah.
It's actually, and it's middle child, not KOD.
Okay,
so
I get 1.
you're 1 point behind.
2 points. Oh wait, am I getting the?
You get the artist name and the lyric. Just
You can be harsh on that one. I think I'm personally think that one's an L. Come on.
so okay.
The next one, I'm hoping if it's because this next one, if it's roughly the same, then I still back myself to win this.
The round one, the score is 9-7 to Aaron.
Cool.
And
So now we need to figure out what we're doing as a buzzer, right?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Aaron, what do you want to do?
because
okay.
my buzzer's gonna be whoa. Yeah.
I think he's only allowed to have that if he actually does the gesture as well.
And what is yours?
Oh,
Zee?
that's a couple of seconds delay. So you know the answer's coming.
No, joke.
But if you got in the bag and you know he doesn't, then you can just go.
I'm just going yeet.
The first song of this round is, well, the first lyrics of the song is, today I don't feel like doing anything.
Whoa. Today I don't feel like doing Bruno Mars lazy song.
What's the next lyric?
I just want to lay in my bed.
Okay. It's calm. It's calm.
So what was that?
That was actually
12-7.
That was actually a double point round as well. I forgot to mention that.
Oh. I don't think that was worth a double point. Though,
You don't think
to
it?
be fair.
Fine, I'm just going to deduct it.
We're fair out here.
Yeah.
I'll just deduct
That's
it.
what,
for
12-7, yeah?
Fair play.
I'll tell you at the end because I can't keep track right now.
Oh, okay. Well, then how do I know whether I'm back in the game?
Okay. Well, let's see.
It's like, as in you lost, but you lost back at the start of the round.
Yeah, it's 12-7. It's 12-7.
Okay, go.
But there's 7 total songs in this round anyway. So
Okay, cool.
With some double
so
points.
That's some time. Okay, cool.
Now,
Say
this
the
one-
double points before if you can.
Okay, this one isn't double points, but you're more likely to know this than Aaron.
Okay.
Did you know the lazy song by Bruno
I
Mars?
did. I wouldn't have said lazy song.
Okay.
I would have got Bruno Mars. I think I would have got the lyric, but I don't think I would have got the song.
I don't usually do this unless I'm drunk or I'm high, but I'm both right now. Got me
Yeet.
talking about.
It's Both by Drake.
Yeah, what's the next lyric?
Oh, I think I've got a name for the song.
He's already said it.
Oh, you already said it? Wait, what did you say?
I
He said
both Drake, and you were like,
He
okay.
said,
I thought it
he
was
said
Scott's
both
man, but
the
it's not.
artist and the thing. To be fair, if you
yeah.
can guess the other artist, I'll give you a point.
I
for it.
thought you were the
oh, wait,
artist.
do I
Okay.
get points for that?
No, but like you got one of the artists, so that's fine.
Oh, there's another artist?
Yeah, there's
Wait,
another.
so he gets an added point if he knows the other artist?
Yeah, but like it's only because he doesn't. He was
He's
gonna,
unlikely to get
Yeah,
it. Okay,
he's-
fine.
I'm
Alright.
not gonna lie, I haven't even heard that song.
yes, you
Okay.
have. I played it at your house,
I mean, I haven't heard the name of the song.
and it's probably on your playlist. It was both by someone and Drake.
The song's called Both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know.
Okay, cool.
and he obviously got both
I mean,
the
I
artist
can
and
guess
the
an artist.
song.
But
It's yeah.
The pun just went over. Everyone said.
I didn't hear it. Sorry.
I was like, Zee obviously got both the artists.
Yeah. It's Gucci Mane, by the way.
That's a good
The other one.
I'm still waiting for the next lyric. Unless you're gonna cop out.
No, last couple lyrics again. Give me that, if you can.
But I'm both right now. Got me talking about my life.
I don't really do this because I'm drunk or I'm high.
Yeah.
Right now. Okay, cool.
I was like, you sang it out.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's what 12.
But Aaron, do you want to guess the other artist by any chance?
I already said it.
Before I said it.
I think it's Gucci Mane.
Oh no, hang on.
No, clearly that I
That's
did.
not happening.
This one,
was that 12-10?
Zee could know.
Back in it now.
Aaron should know.
All right, so Aaron's more likely to get this one.
But I think you'd have a fair, like, it's a reasonable chance. It's not double points or anything as well.
All right, cool.
J5, it's a mad one. I'm like, man down. Baby wanna take my life. She don't wanna be no side. She just wanna be my wife. Calling up the lads like.
Oh.
Mate, that was a fucking clue, mate. Is it Hamish like Maine?
I wish.
Is that his answer though? That's a big question. Oh, I know this song, man.
I think you both should know it. It just doesn't occur to you because the next.
I'm gonna guess.
Is there different lyrics you can give us from that song?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good shout. I was about to say you.
To be fair, I even mentioned the chorus in there. That is from the chorus.
Oh, okay.
What?
Well, the next.
No, I
There's
think
also-
I know what vibe it is because I figured out the sort of the song and
I mean, the next lyrics are literally the same thing I already said, basically.
Ain't this guy got any other bars?
Fine,
it's literally just that.
fine.
Whole
I'll go to the verse right after that. The
Okay,
chorus.
It does sound a bit like you, actually.
It was all good on a weekend. She was serving the pre-drinks. She the one with the thighs, the one with the feeling. Come on, guys. She said hi with the tongue ring. We both wanted something.
Okay. I'm not 100%. I'm going Yeet and I'm going Young Bane.
I'll just take a guess and go for Dave.
No,
I don't
both of you are wrong. It was actually Man Down by Shaka.
Shaka. It was that
Oh.
R&B sort of song,
Yeah,
though,
it's
isn't
that-
it?
It crossed my
Man
mind,
down.
Shaka, but
Baby don't want to take my life. Well, this one is a double points one because,
Okay, here we go. This is 12-10 and this is.
and you'll get a hint for this.
that Shaka one wasn't double points.
No,
That's quite a hard
Right.
one, actually.
now watch me whip.
Whoa.
Yeet. I don't know who got that first.
I don't know.
We're gonna need an instant. We're gonna need VAR here.
we got the.
I'm
I
starting
don't know.
first.
I don't know.
You
No,
can't-
no, no.
Nah,
It
it's
Just be
too
a
late.
dodgy result, you know.
No, it's not. I'm telling you this. That's fair. All right, go on. Although he needs to get the song right.
Yeah, well, because this is an instant giveaway.
Just watch me whip brackets Nene.
Okay,
I think Nene's in brackets. I don't know.
let's carry on.
By Silento.
I mean, do you want to tell me the next lyrics as well?
Oh, watch
Since he
me
stopped
whip.
me-
Watch me Nene. Silento.
wait. What were the lyrics that you gave? Watch me. Whip,
I
watch
only
me
said
Nene.
now watch me whip, and then
No, watch
I
me
was cut off.
Nene. No, watch me, and that goes on for a bit, doesn't it? That's just on the
Wait, the
loop.
same lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh, does
It
he get
goes on
that
for a bit.
then? Because that's not true.
If it doesn't, then yeah, Z can have a point for the lyrics. But
Can you keep going?
Silento. Now watch me whip. Now watch me Nene. Now watch me whip. Watch me
I
Nene.
think you can have that one.
Yeah, you can
You
have that.
changed it. Yeah.
You got that. You got it like exactly as well.
Yeah.
So well done.
In fairness, I would have got the. I don't think I would have potentially got the artist. You know, he's a bit done out here now. I can't. I don't think we've.
I mean,
heard
that's
much
the
of it
only.
there.
I don't know. That's the only song of his I know.
Fair. Well, does he get 6 points for that
Nothing.
then?
Yeah.
I think it's game over.
I don't know.
now.
That's a double point though. Again,
You don't think that's double point? I can cut the points if you want.
Maybe should we just not do any double points unless it's like mad hard?
yeah. Like the
I feel
Shaka one
that
should have been a mad hard one.
Because really, the ones that
Fine.
were really close between the two of us that we should both know should just be single points. Because then it's just like,
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's why I wanted that in case someone could catch up. I thought Aaron would be losing by this point.
I'll be honest. I thought Aaron would be losing.
I
by this
just
one. Unfortunately, I'm mistaken.
It's just that you got middle
Why can you
child
give me
or-
some like
Yeah, yeah.
old non R&B
So wait,
songs?
what-
you know
what
what I
we-
mean?
I got you.
Whoever gets the last song wins. So like all the points before just
It's
didn't
like
mean
what we used to
anything.
do at school, innit? Like someone's losing like 10-8.
Yeah, next
and
goal
like, you know
wins.
what? Next goal wins it. Yeah, cool.
Next song. As I walk through the valley of the shadow
Whoa.
of death.
As I walk through the valley in a jean and a cardigan, up to the van in the LAX and then yeah, around that.
Are you going to give me a song name and all?
Miley Cyrus, part in USA.
No.
Fuck.
Okay, Z.
Yeah, carry on this. You only.
I was
said
like,
a
yeah,
few,
I was
You
only
barely
done
said
with my lyrics.
anything. All right.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's not much left. Because I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. I think I sent that in the floor as well, accidentally.
Thing is, I've made a mug of myself because we've played this lyric game before.
No. Well,
In an
technically
episode,
after.
yeah, but we've played it before in an episode that comes out after yours.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
And there was a song
Don't spoil it.
where I said the exact same answer and it wasn't. So
Basically, he's a massive Miley Cyrus fan.
I'm not, but I thought he just added that in now because I got it wrong last time. So now I just look
Amazing.
like
Amazing. You're trying to play the game.
The thing is,
Hamish has done him twice.
I'm never going to let him know if I ever include it. So he's just
Yeah,
going
fully.
to... Okay, the chorus is, been spending most their lives living in the gangster's paradise.
Oh.
Yeet.
No one gets no points for that, but...
Okay, fine.
But can you still name,
The artist?
yeah, and the name of the song?
So Gangster's Paradise is the name of
Yeah.
the song.
Because I'm struggling to think of a
thought
name right now.
Wasn't it Notorious B.I.G.?
No.
Is
Stop ruining my future episodes.
Gangsta's Paradise?
No, I'm not sure about the artist. You know, I probably should
Does it
know.
have an L in it?
Yeah.
Is it LL Cool J?
No, it's
Something.
Coolio.
Cooley. Mad.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
should
so
know.
no one gets no points for that, I guess. Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm
Yeet.
alone. Go ahead.
Wait, so can you finish that lyric first? Gotta change my answering machine now that I'm alone. Because right now it feels like because right now it feels like we can't talk through the phone. Because right now,
You can finish it. You can finish
Yeah,
it.
you. I can finish it. Well, he said that next lyric pretty much. He said
right,
because right now it says that we can't come to the phone,
come to the phone, right?
and that
And I know it makes no sense when you're at the door, but I feel. But it's the only way I hear your voice anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got that one. Sick. It's called So Sick.
Oh,
So
I
sick,
know the
Neo.
artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, get in, mate.
Oh, man.
okay, that should have been maybe a double point.
Get
So
in.
this was once again that one was taken from Aaron's playlist. So, but I felt like you. I felt like you. You would know this.
That's my old school stuff.
Oh, shit, man.
I mean, I've never had girl stuff that's that deep, but I mean, like, that would be the type of stuff you'd go to in situations like that.
So this one is double points, and this one will either you win or you lose based on it. Because the scores right now
Isn't it like
15-13 to Aaron. So
I need to
you
get
have
all
to
three? Is this stuff that we should both know?
get yes.
All
And
right.
if you don't, then we can't be friends.
Oh, okay. No pressure.
Whoa, 50 Cent.
Oh, it probably is as well.
I'm not giving away anything yet.
Okay.
I'll take you to the candy shop.
Whoa, 50 Cent.
Yeah. I
need
truly
a-
I was that one now.
I need a VAR. I don't know who got it first. Okay, so we've done some VAR, and we've decided that Zee. Oh, I've said it first, so go ahead and
Okay,
say-
so the lyric, the two lyrics you've said are
I'll take you to the candy shop. I'll let you lick the lollipop.
okay. So Candy Shop and 50 Cent. Go ahead, girl. Don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Whoa.
Yep.
I
Nah,
wouldn't
he even got the ad.
I wouldn't have got the lyrics, I don't think.
Oh, okay, fine. So
So
I think a draw.
I'm to be honest, I'm gassed I said 50 Cent about a minute before you said it.
You could
Well, not
tell.
a
You
minute,
could tell
but
it was because he
10
was
seconds.
one because it's like his favorite artist, and
Yeah.
two because he stopped talking.
I feel like it's also no, but like I did that lot in another
Oh, okay, fair.
spoilers. But yeah,
Okay, anyway, moving swiftly on after
Tracksuit,
that
yeah.
fiasco.
Yeah.
No,
Before we
it's
touch on football a bit, you said that you prepared a little team of the decade.
Oh, I did. Yeah. So I saw this thing on Sky Sports where, like, obviously it's quite a topical thing right now about like, what's your like team of the decade and stuff like that. It was that's a bit of a weird one here because I think it's quite tricky because actually few of them have actually been able to perform at a really high level throughout the whole, obviously 10 years. But I think it's fairly similar to stuff that yourself and Nish and Hamish obviously contributed a little bit as well with the team of the decade when Nish did it a while ago. Do you want to just like go through it? Or?
Yeah, just go for it.
So I'd say like obviously De Gea joined United in 2011. No. Yeah, 2011.
Around then,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was 2011. So he's pretty much been here the whole decade. Despite that, and despite him having a really poor first season and potentially costing you points to mean that City pipped you to the title in 2012, I'd still probably put De Gea there. I guess like notable mentions are like Kasper Schmeichel for like doing bits right now and like winning the league in 2016. But you can't really put him as like the best keeper of the decade.
I think my reasoning for De Gea just would be like, or one of them was no other Premier League keeper. So for a period, De Gea was the best in the world, in my opinion, anyway. You can maybe argue Alisson the last season or so.
But again, it's like similar reasons as to why I have like a few notable mentions and stuff. People who've done it for a couple seasons, but you can't really put them in there.
Yeah.
So I'd say like Allison's been very good in the last 2 seasons. Edison, I think's been phenomenal in the last 2 seasons. I think probably more so last season and the season before than obviously this season, because I think he's made a few more errors this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'd still put De Gea in there, I think. I went Ivanovic at right back just because of, I mean, I hate the fact that I have like...
Over Zabaleta?
I think so. I think Ivanovic used to pop up with like really big goals at key times. To be fair, not just in the Premier League. I'm talking about like European competitions as well, which maybe is a little bit well, definitely not biased because I'm a QPR fan, but a little bit sort of skewed in terms of like what we're looking at. But I think that, Ivanovic was like really, really solid. Like you very rarely saw him make mistakes and stuff. Zabaleta, I think by the end of it, he sort of caught up with him a little bit. I think it was also the point of like, when Ivanovic left, there wasn't really a drop in his form from what I remember. Like he wasn't really poor. Whereas I feel like Zabaleta is like poor enough now that West Ham don't start him. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a little bit of a different dynamic. And I think he might be slightly older in fairness, but the point still stands of like his peak in the decade arguably was better. But over the course of the whole decade, I think I'd rather have Ivanovic. I went with Van Dijk and Company. Now, Company I think is pretty much unanimous.
Yeah.
Van Dijk's the one where it's like people are like, well, he's only been at Liverpool for 2 years. Can you really say that? Blah, blah, blah. Now, for me, I think it's one of those where Van Dijk was also like very solid for Southampton. And Southampton finished like 8th or 9th with him at centre-back only 2 or 3 seasons ago, I think. And like that somewhat goes a little bit under the radar, given how like pivotal he would have been at centre-back and as a leader. So I think that he still had good Premier League seasons, even in spite of the fact he wasn't at Liverpool and like trying to compete for the title. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's a fair point.
So that's why I put him there, I think. I put probably a weird one here because like you got Ashley Cole, but I think he was more known in his sort of 2000s as opposed to like in the 10s now. So I'd probably put Azpilicueta.
Azpilicueta is one who I would have had in our team of the year.
Yeah, I think you said that, right?
Over who we put in Baines.
You said Baines, didn't you? Yeah. I think Baines has been very good, but again from 2010 to 2019, I don't think he's.
I think it's more the early years
finished in
the decade
4 with Everton. So like he's been very solid, but like in terms of like the really high quality. Although I remember, to be fair, there was one season where he had like 10 assists and 15 goals or something. Albeit
he does take
free kicks and penalties,
corners,
but still, and corners, But so I'd say like he was at a really high level and stuff. And then I sort of played like a 4-2-2-2. Because on Sky Sports you could sort of like alter it a little bit.
I would have changed our formation.
Right.
A bit,
so like I went 2 defensive-ish kind of midfielders or like whatever. And then 2 attacking midfielders / wingers and then 2 strikers. So I went N'Golo Conte, again, like started in English football in 2015. So for half a decade, he's been like probably one of the best centre defensive midfielders we've seen in the league.
And in the world, really.
Well, definitely in the world, but even like if you go back to however long it's been, 27 years in how long the Premier League's been around, I'd argue he's been one of the best there as well. Like obviously competing with people like Makelele and arguably Fernandinho, to be fair, but he's been like very, very high level.
Yeah.
And then originally I wrote Lampard actually, because I think that he left in 2015 and that first half of the decade he was still scoring 20 plus goals. But actually I spoke to Nish yesterday and I spoke to him not at length, but I spoke to him a little bit about this Yaya Toure thing. And he was like, I think I'd put him in there. Think about the season he had there. And I think for me, like one season doesn't define it, but I thought there were a
few seasons.
Exactly. So I thought back at it and I was like, actually, he joined in, I think 2009 or 2010. From about 2011 onwards till about probably 2016, maybe 2017, he was on multiple occasions unplayable.
Yeah.
So I'd probably take that out with hindsight, having had that conversation with Nish yesterday, and actually having looked at stats and stuff that he's like assists and goals, and like some of the goals he scored as well.
Yeah.
Just incredible. So I'd probably put Yaya Toure in with N'Golo Conte in the 2. Then I'd probably go like Azar and David Silva. I hate the fact that there's that many Chelsea players in this team for the record.
No, I think someone like Hazard's like.
I think Hazard's pretty
I think David
set.
Silva as well.
N'Golo Conte is kind of set, and he's like half a Chelsea player because he was kind of from his Leicester time as well. But yeah, so I put Azar and David Silva. I mean, I think Azar don't really need to speak too much about him, to be honest. 1, because I don't want to, but 2, because two, because he's like obviously his stats speak for itself. But like we talked about Yaya Toure. David Silva is one of those where I think he's because it's almost like a Messi Ronaldo dynamic in the sense that he's so consistent that I think he gets overlooked a lot because his numbers are like incredible, and the way he dictates play on a weekly basis is so consistent that actually when, like, for example, Van Dijk, he was in the running for it to be Ballon d'Or. Now, whether or not you think he should have won it is neither here nor there. But my point is that people are like, well, Messi does that all the time. And I'm like, that's exactly the point. The fact that he does that all the time is the reason he should still be lauded, right?
We take David Silva a bit for granted. Like when he first came over, he was unbelievable, and then he's just been at it for 10 years. So it's kind of like,
well, it's not new.
Yeah,
it's not nothing different. It's not a new signing that's come in and like changed it up, like maybe De Bruyne did.
Same a bit with Aguero. I think he goes a bit under the radar.
I agree, and actually, as a result, a good transition into it is Aguero and Kane. I'd say would be my two. I think both of them, even in spite of injuries that they've both had in the last 5 to 6 years. Aguero probably a little bit longer because he joined in 2011. Won them the league in the first season, actually, I think. Both of them have had, like, including all competitions, like I think most seasons they've scored 25, 30 plus. Even in spite of injuries that have taken them out for a few weeks at a time. So I'd probably go with that. And then, as I say, like some of the notable mentions are like Zabaleta and Walker, Vidic and Ferdinand, but I think they were more so noughties than like maybe this decade. De Bruyne, who's been phenomenal for like 2-3 seasons now. Fabregas, who I think was actually quite an underrated mention. Because again, you're talking about him at Arsenal as well as after he came back from Barcelona and Chelsea, right? Yeah. And I think even now, he's still in like the top 5 highest assist
I think he is actually,
like that. Yeah. So he goes under the radar a little bit. Obviously, you've got like Lampard and Gerrard as notable mentions as well, because if you're talking about consistency, they did it through the noughties, but they also did it in like this decade as well. And then obviously like Rooney and Van Persie are like notable mentions, just again for stats and like the quality that they brought. Van Persie obviously went to United and won the league straight away.
Yeah.
Rooney for me is like, for me personally, because he's not attractive and he's not very eloquent and stuff like that, I think he sometimes gets scapegoated a little bit, not only by like female fans, but also like for his looks or whatever, but also just like throughout like media, us, whatever.
I know you look back at early Wayne Rooney when he first came United, like it's
right,
unreal.
And he joined in 2003, I think.
But
even like this decade as opposed to a previous decade, I still say like he's one. I think he left in 2017 or 16, I think.
The Premier League or
Premier League,
because he went back to Everton, didn't he?
I think he went 17 and then 17-18 he was at Everton, right? And like, so from 2010 to 2017 in this decade, I still think he's been like one of the best strikers around. But I think he's, again, because he's not as quick, or he, as he was getting to his 30,
he wasn't like
it's similar to David Silva in a weird way. Right. But it's also a similar thing to David Silva in that like, he's so consistent that again, it's not new. He scores 20 goals a season. Yeah. So what? But again, it's not actually appreciated that's fucking incredible. But yeah, so I'd say Rooney's a little notable mention there as well. But
no, I think it's a good team. I think
pretty solid. I like
your midfield is probably what I would choose now, thinking of it. That same like 2 defensive mids, Hazard and Silva either side. I'd probably just have right back Zabaleta and
I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty solid team.
So I think we should do some awards now. So we're approaching the end of the year, and we've prepared some podcast awards out of the episodes we have recorded so far. Welcome to the 2019 Third Wheel Podcast Awards. So first award we have now is the Wholesome Award. So these are given to 4 moments that we thought were particularly wholesome or nice. And our nominees are Tej and Shah in episode 12, speaking about how Christmas brings families together.
Kind of lifestyle where like you're not going to be able to like meet with each other every day like you did when you were little kids. So it's just like you find that little moments and you try and enjoy them.
I think that's really nice. Nice way to put it. Luke in episode 8, speaking about how weight loss led to him running a marathon.
I remember
definitely like, oh shit, you're looking like a lot slimmer than what I remember.
I remember when I saw you at the airport, you were like, oh shit. And I was like, inside I was like, yes. I was quite proud of myself.
Shami and her charity work in episode 10.
Since realising how much developed countries as such have, I just wanted to do more to try and make that inequality gap a bit smaller and make it a bit more fairer.
And the final nominee is Yash in episode 1.
I feel like one of my duties is to try and leave the world in a better place than what I found it in.
And now the winner of the award is, any guesses, Z?
I'll go probably Yash. I might be biased. I quite liked, was it Luke's one? No, not Luke's one. Tedge's one about families coming together. So obviously quite topical and like obviously what's going on at the moment. But yeah, I'll probably go Yash.
Yeah, the winner is Yash.
Oh,
You're correct.
My boy.
Well done, Yash.
Hello to Hamish and Aaron and the listeners of the Third Wheel podcast. I'd like to say thank you to both of them for winning the Wholesome Award. This is a really big moment for me in my life, probably the biggest, if I'm being really honest. And it's going to take some time to realize what I've accomplished. So thank you to both of them. But I would like to say that I'm quite disappointed in them because they dissed my hairline in our episode and in another episode as well. So Hamish and Aaron, as much as I thank you for this award, just please know that revenge will be sweet.
The next award is the Jeff Ross Award. Well, basically, if you don't know who Jeff Ross is, he's basically a roaster. And this is for the best roast dished out during the episodes. So the first one is, it's actually me from episode 9, roasting Tom Golden. And I was just firing a shot at him at his hairline after he started an insults match with me. You're jealous because where I put my hairband on is where your hairline fucking starts.
That's a good one.
Oh, okay.
Where the shot's good, the shot's good.
The second nominee is Snaja in episode 6, roasting Aaron and Hamish for failing to pronounce her name correctly.
I think Aaron said Snaja, but it's fine.
I got nervous.
I think that's how Hamish called me as well, right?
Yeah, but you didn't tell me when I did it. So.
I didn't even clock, to be honest. But yeah, it's fine. 5 letters, but it's hard.
The next nominee is Anna in episode 2, commenting on the professionalism of our podcast.
Yeah,
do.
he looks professional visually.
Phrase, all the gear, no idea comes to head, comes to mind. But
Okay, we're getting buoyed.
And the final nominee is Aaron from episode 5, where Nish was the guest. And he claims that during the 3 traits question, that the 3 traits that Hamish prefers in a girl is, or myself, I'm saying third person, are dogs, cats, and Skepta. I want something out of my top 3 just because
your 3 were dead though. Like dogs and cats and like Skepta. Like what the fuck are you on about, mate? And the winner is Anna for roasting the professionalism of our podcast. Unfortunately, Anna is not available today to accept her awards. I'll be accepting on her behalf. Oh wow, what a surprise this is. I'd like to thank the committee for their decision. I'd like to thank my friends, especially Aaron, and all my family for such a prestigious award. It's going to go right up on top of my mantelpiece alongside my yellow water bottle. Thank you. Our third award is the RA Award, which is just for the most controversial or debatable moment, or just something that kind of responds with a RA. The first nominee is Tom Golden in episode 9, calling American idiots.
After being there for a while, I started to realize like there is no embarrassment of being an idiot because they're all idiots.
Josh Cavey in episode 3, talking about body positivity.
Then it was like, here's my body, it's me, love myself, whatever. And that is perfectly fine. Like, that's a really good thing. And then the fatties came along.
Aaron in episode 1 with Yash, speaking about how he did not want to be a part of a brown group. So before I came to uni, I did not want to be associated with a brown group. I hated the idea of being in a brown group. And James in episode 4, fucking up in his UK citizenship test. Can the Council of Europe make laws for the UK? Yes or no?
Infamously, yes.
Well, they said no.
Oh, is it the... peak. I've looked like a massive twat here.
And the winner is Josh.
Hi guys, thank you very much for my award. It's an absolute pleasure to receive the RA Award, which I'm not actually sure if that's a good or a bad thing yet, given that I got it for slagging off fat people for about half an hour. It's probably the latter, but it's an absolute honour, and this is the best possible end to 2019 I could have thought of. So I'm really grateful.
One of my favourite moments. Final award of the first set is the 1-to-1 tutoring award, and it's pretty much self-explanatory what this award means. And the first nominee is myself in episode 7 for pronouncing vinyl as vinyl.
I feel like, Hamish, you're not really a Beatles person, are you?
The only reason I really had anything to do with it was when I got him a birthday gift of a Beatles vinyl or vinyl.
Vinyl.
I don't know which one it is. I said vinyl or vinyl. I don't know how it says.
Who says vinyl?
Next nominee is Aaron in episode 11 with TK, where he can't spell the word aunt.
Aunt. A-R-E apostrophe N-T.
Are you dumb, fam?
N.
Bro, I thought he would just forget the apostrophe, but he fucked it fully.
A-R-E-N apostrophe T.
The next nominee is Shami in episode 10 for mispronouncing
Yosemite.
Thank you.
Well, you mentioned you did Yosemite and stuff.
Yeah.
That must have been insane.
Yeah, Yosemite was like...
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I didn't want to like shout it out.
And the final nominee is once again myself in episode 5 featuring Nish for struggling to read a tweet off the phone. Bro, I got to read one of these out. So this one is, Colleen's Vardy statement should be taught in English lit classes. It sets the scene intrigue. I can't say the word. Intrigue. How do you say this word?
And the winner is Hamish in episode 7 with Gina, not being able to pronounce vinyl.
Cheers for the award. Not sure if I should be happy or sad about this, but cheers anyway. Hopefully next year someone else gets it. Thank you.
Could have been either of them, really.
Yeah. There was multiple there.
What was the word meant to be there?
What do you mean?
Do you remember?
Just vinyl.
No. As in the
When you
one
couldn't
where-
read.
Yeah.
Intriguingly.
Oh, intriguing.
Yeah, he said it wrong, but no one called him out on it after anyways.
Oh, right.
He just
Okay.
said intriguing.
Now we go into some just more personal ones. So the award for Aaron's, or my favourite moment, that goes to Snager in her episode where near the end she says we are really easy to talk to. That was my favourite moment.
And my favourite moment is when Aaron was struggling to answer the 3 traits question in Nish's episode because we've turned that into a permanent question or a segment onto our show now. Yeah, that was my favourite moment.
It's a valid question to ask, to be honest. It's really intriguing normally.
Yep. What about Yuzi? What was your favourite moment? Because you do actively listen to us.
I do actually, yeah. I've listened to most of them actually. I think probably 8 out of the 11, maybe now 12 has come out now, right?
Yep.
So out of the 12, I think I've listened to like 8 or something. Maybe 9. I think probably my favourite moment, maybe from like a personal perspective, was listening to who was it that spoke? I think was it episode 8.
What was the topic?
He was talking about his weight loss.
Oh,
was it Luke?
Yeah.
I listened to Luke speak about his weight loss and like that. And I guess like for me personally, that sort of struck a chord. Like I was like pretty chubby when I was like a kid at school. Yeah. And like I'm not like in amazing shape now, but like much better shape. But yeah, like back in those days, like I was like fat. Like you could ask Nish, he'll vouch for that. But yeah, so I think the fact that he was like, we went from like 107 kilograms to running a half marathon, and I think he said 1 hour and 38 minutes, which is like, a full marathon in 3 hours and 38 minutes is like ridiculous. Because like for me, I luckily managed to run a half in like 1:49. But if I was to do a full, like it definitely only target would be sub 4. So the fact that he went 3:38, and I was kind of disappointed, and he was like only a few years ago like 107 kilograms is like incredible. Yeah. So like mad credit to him. And he said like 5 times a week he goes to the gym, 5 times a week he goes for a run as well, which is like mental. Yeah, that's like a proper credit, because like I'm sure he has stuff going on in his life, but the fact that he makes time to do those things is like really, really like commendable.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd probably say that off the top of my head.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's nice. And now we got our each personal's favorite episode. So mine goes to Gina, episode 7. So this one I just found there are a couple of contenders in there. So I think Yash, just sentimental reasons, like being the first episode, that's like always going to be like a really special one. Snager for someone who I did not know at all before coming on. I thought that was really nice. But Gina's one, I just remember like editing it back, I just couldn't stop laughing, mainly due to Hamish fucking up and Gina like just slaughtering him for it. But I just thought that was a really funny episode, and she can just talk.
Fair.
So just made life easier.
My favorite episode was the Josh KV episode, but once again, this was also pretty tough to decide for reasons such as what Aaron said. I think every episode's been a good one, but I think the KV's one struck a different way when he asked us the question out of the blue, the most controversial topic, and then laid out what he said. And it's been a really good turning point since, especially since that was only episode 3 as well. Like that was insane. And yeah, Zee, we were wondering if you have a favorite episode so far that you listened to.
So yeah, out of the 8 or 9 that I have listened to, I'd say I'd obviously like the ones like, so I know Shami a little bit, not very, very well, but like obviously I saw her at uni and stuff like that. I know Nish obviously very, very well, and like Yash pretty well. So like obviously looking back on memories and stuff like with the two of them was like really good fun, and like listening to stuff from uni that I probably knew about and stuff was like good, like nostalgia and stuff. But I'll probably say like, given that it's more like, I guess you're kind of asking about maybe a newer episode, or maybe you're not, but I guess for me the really interesting one was the Snager one, because I think that she spoke about very differing topics throughout the hour and 20 or however long you guys put together for the podcast. Obviously some of it was about like mental health and like aesthetics and skincare, some of it was about like grime music and concerts, so it was like nice to, I guess, like get to know someone through a podcast meme. Not meme.
Is that what we
are? We're not there yet.
Yeah. Soon come. But yeah, no, to get to know, I guess, someone, and as well as that, like obviously the 7 or 8 people or other people that I don't know, it was cool to like be able to hear that. But I'd probably say Snager off the top of my head.
Awesome. And that also kind of follows through. We have an award for the most played episode. So this is the episode with the most views across like YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Pocket Cast, wherever you listen to it.
And by unanimous decision, the winner is Snager.
Yeah, so that was pretty mad because that one kind of.
So she's a B-knock basically.
yeah. I don't know.
That's the conclusion.
Kind of just like, so yeah, she gets that award. And that concludes the 2019 Third Wheel Podcast Awards.
So maybe if you're a guest on next year, we could actually include you in the awards. But so yeah, hit us up if you want to be a guest. Maybe you'll be amongst the favorite moments or favorite episodes.
Yeah,
it'd be mad. You lot trying to go through like 50 plus weeks of
that'll
stuff
be
next
mad.
year though.
Yeah.
12 is about manageable, but
yeah, very much. Yeah, I think, should we start rounding up? We have our final questions. The first question is, if you're on death row, what would be your chosen meal?
That's a good question.
I think I'd just be like burger and chips or something.
Probably, yeah. I mean, a good little GBK and stuff doesn't go amiss, but I mean,
your parents' hand-cooked meal?
Oh, that's a good cop-out.
I'll be like, I'll just be like, give me a biryani and I'm good.
You know what, actually? So people who know me will know, like, know me well, know that I'm like a really big fan of chili paneer. So like, I'd probably go, albeit actually, Nish and Adam and I went to a restaurant last night for dinner, and we went to an Afghani place in Harrow and Wilston. Sick. Really, really nice. But I think as a consistent sort of basis, at pretty much every Indian restaurant, I'd say chili paneer is probably my thing. Chili paneer and garlic butter naan, like he doesn't get much better than that, to be honest. I'd probably go that. Although the shits afterwards would be a bit peak.
Well, you're on death row.
There you go. So
it's a problem
solved. Yeah, exactly. Problem solved. So if that's my last meal and I'm getting executed after that, then there you go. None of the negatives come to fruition, so It's all good.
The second question is, if you could listen to one song forever, what would it be?
So I think for me, like, as I think I mentioned earlier in this podcast, even after we started recording, but Drake's like one of my favorite artists. In spite of that, in terms of like my favorite song, I'd probably lean on the more like upbeat ones. And Drake has some of them, but I'd probably go with like a more Afro beatsy, like vibe sort of song. And like Hamish and I spoke about this earlier. We spoke about it in the car actually, but I'm a big fan of like Hardy Caprio and like a sort of summertime sort of thing. So like songs like Unsigned, Super Soaker, that sort of thing, and like proper top quality. But I think for me, the one that I'd probably be able to listen for a long period of time, and it's been a year and a half since I first heard it, and I'm still playing it quite a lot, is Best Life by Hardy Caprio. Lyrics are somewhat relatable, but also just like the vibe, the sort of like, you just imagine sunshine when you hear that song.
Is that the one that's like, living my best life?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you actually heard Love Song by Hardy Caprio? It's only on YouTube.
I don't think I have, no.
It's before he went bigger, and that's one of my favorite songs. It's not a very happy vibe, but it's some
but isn't like Hardy Caprio is like, it's one of those where
he has a mix of both,
right? And like I think there was one that's on, so Packages is by AJ Tracy, where he like spits and like just basically just raps and stuff. But Hardy Caprio has another one, I think it's called Lucky Me Freestyle, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And that one is that one's awesome. Like that's sort of like the other side to what I would want in like a rapper, R&B, hip hop sort of artist.
If you like that, then definitely listen to a Love Song by Hardy Caprio.
Oh, is that more of a like rappy sort of one? Okay, cool.
It's only on YouTube, so
okay, sick. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I'll probably go Best Life. I think it's like sort of a vibe and stuff, so I really like that one.
And third and final question is a question we ask every guest, and that is, what has been your most memorable third wheeling experience?
So I had a bit of a trouble with this one. I'm not normally the first or the second wheel. I don't really normally like try and become a third wheel in any sort of situation. I think the one time I can remember off the top of my head is when I was at, what's I about to say it? One of my other companies before the current one I work at, and we just finished like all the training and stuff or whatever, and like we're like heading out, and we're heading back home, and it was it's kind of like a fourth wheeling thing, but we'll go with it because we'll just disregard the other guy. But yeah, so we were like heading out to the station, and these two were like secretly seeing each other, and me and this other guy like knew that this was what was going on, but like we were joking about it all the time, but they just actually, okay, so I was thinking of what that moment, a better one for third wheeling would actually be the same couple, again, lunchtime as opposed to after work. And we went to literally just like go for a walk and then grab some food and then come back basically. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm meeting up with this girl to like go for lunch. And like we both did the same, all three of us were in the same group, like working together, whatever. But then they, I said that you get placed with like Barclays, UBS, etc. So he had just come back from his placement and she was at UBS. I think, yeah. So we're all in the same vicinity or whatever, so we could like meet up quite easily. Yeah, so basically we met up as a three, and originally I was like, no, I'm not gonna, like, I'm cool, I'm good, like, you lot enjoy it, cool, I'm not gonna do it. Mate, he was so persistent. He was just like, no, come with us in it. Nothing, what do you mean? Nothing's going on in it. I was like, cool. I was like, you know what, okay, man, if you're really that adamant that I'll come with you, fine, let's go for lunch. So we went for lunch or whatever. They're like trying their best not to be coupley and stuff like that, but I just knew that something was going on. And I came back and I was just like, I just looked at the girl the other person from the group, and I was just like, this is definitely something's definitely happening right here. And then like 2 months later, they're like, I know this is gonna come as a shock, but we're actually dating. And I was like, oh, well, fucking about time. It's one of those, literally. And me and my other mate were actually talking about it before we went to this event when they told us. We're like, do you reckon today's the day? No, probably, yeah. And in the end, they're like, surprise. I'm like, oh, really? I was like,
just like surprised.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was like that. It wasn't like that. Yeah, so that was probably the biggest moment I could name off the top of my head. Luckily, I'm not normally a massive third wheel. I think it's a bit awkward generally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's right. The next segment is a call out. So if you want to call out someone to hopefully be a guest in a future episode, who would you call out?
So we've done I think you guys have done quite a lot of people from Warwick and stuff so far. I think it'd be really, so my brother's actually quite into like YouTube and like wants to get into podcasting and stuff. So I think given that you guys seem to be quite open about like having random people on as well. I think you said you recorded a podcast recently with like someone who you've never met before and stuff. So both of you. So that's really cool. I think it'd give my brother a big insight into like what the podcasting sort of life is like, and like give him some tips and like maybe how he feels in that sort of environment. But I think he has a lot of stuff to talk about as well. Like he was a student at uni at Cardiff. He's been into like YouTube for quite decently consistently for a while now, like releasing music videos and stuff like that, and like rapping and whatever. So I think it'd be cool to have him on, I think. But yeah, we can put his social media and that in the as a little call out. Yeah. If you're like all right with that. He's got plenty. He's started off with a decent amount of followers, but can't harm him from having any more. So
no. I think that leads in a bit to your shout out.
Yeah, cool. So like, obviously just shouted out my brother, but I'd say, I guess for me, something I've got into since I left my first job was blogging. So I guess like check out my stuff on WordPress. So again, we can put a link in the description if you fancy having a look at it. But yeah, like really, really decent. Well, I like to hope it's decent stuff, decent content. Yeah, mainly sport, to be fair, mainly football. But there's one I did on just like more generic stuff about like positivity and perseverance.
Okay,
so
nice.
Something that's hopefully a little bit more relatable to like non-sporting sort of people. But yeah, but also like without sounding cheesy, like shout out to you guys as well. Like, obviously it's been 3 months now, end of the year. No, seriously though, like it's end of the year now, and you lot have been doing it consistently for 3 months now. You're ahead of schedule, like getting on the grind, like it's been good, man.
I think we're as surprised as everyone.
No, but it's good. And I think obviously the listener base and stuff's been growing quite a bit, and like obviously it takes time to just build high numbers and that. But you've got the studio equipment. Like in my opinion, it sounds very good. Even like audially. Is that a word? Probably not.
I see a lot more fucked up.
In an audio fashion, it sounds very good.
Yeah.
And easy on the ear. So yeah.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Cheers for that.
I'm gonna look
like
like
take a compliment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you two are like shaking your heads like, oh, why'd you have to say that? No, I sound like a bit of a bumlick now, but I do mean that with all sincerity, to be fair.
Yeah, so my shout out is going to be, I'm not a massive darts watcher, but watched it a bit recently, and I don't know if I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, but Fallon Sherrock, she recently just became the first female darts player to beat a male.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, and actually yesterday at the time of recording, she actually won again, beat another male, and that time it was 11th, the guy who was ranked 11th in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to her.
What do you think about like males and females playing darts together?
What's wrong with it?
This is the thing. So like for me, not because of like lack of equality and stuff, but I think like evolution means that it can be difficult for like males and females to play at the same level with certain sports, but with something that's such a skill based, like and this proves it. Like there's no reason why they can't play snooker, darts. I presume chess they do, but those sorts of like skill based sports. Chess is an inverted commas sport, but and I'm gonna get a bit of hate for that. But that's cool. You lot are nerds. No,
all the chess ultras. Are gonna be
exactly.
After us.
Fully, yeah. Just all 7 of them. Just like, I hate you. I hate the guy on your podcast. Yeah, no, I mean, when it's like skill based, I think it's definitely more like, why not sort of thing. And as I say, this sort of stuff proves it. Yeah. I think for the most part, I think what a lot of women have been campaigning for, and rightfully so, has been like to have a platform or like the ability and facilities to be even like to improve. And I think like even if you look at football and stuff, like it's not the same level as men's. Whether it ever will be is like yet to be seen, I guess. But like the fact that there's now much more investment now relative to where we were before is like the big thing for me. And like obviously, like really, really positive. But yeah, so I don't really see the issue with that personally. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. My shout outs for Dana Bakes for making some amazing set of brownies, and then for Snage's birthday.
And didn't say one for me, for the record.
Dana Bakes is my sister, by the way.
Well, mad.
I was referring to her as our own person, Aaron. Thanks for taking that away.
Oh, mad.
She's also my sister.
Also. Less importantly.
Yeah.
Shout out Dana though.
Sent me a brownie.
Yeah, she also gave some cupcakes yesterday. Those were actually really nice as well. So yeah,
cool.
cheers for them.
Decent.
Yeah, Zee, what is your shout out?
Oh, I've done it, innit?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, yeah,
sure. Yeah, my own WordPress. Yeah.
And us, of course.
And of course you lot,
And his brother.
And my brother, yeah. I mean, my brother's more of a call out to challenge him to come on the podcast, because I think, as I say, it'll be a good learning curve. But definitely we can shout him out in the social media section.
Yeah, all his stuff will be in the description anyway. And
cheers for coming on.
No, thank you for having
me. Such an insightful episode.
Say that again.
Cheers for the insightful episode.
Oh yeah, I hope
and hosting as well. Thanks for hosting us.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, yeah.
I think it's been a really good episode.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
It's definitely, we're looking at the time of how long we've recorded for, and it's like 3 hours. So.
I'm glad I've been able to speak long enough for you to have enough content to put together.
It's definitely been good.
Good, I'm glad. And hopefully the Nando's bang too, as
always. Yeah, of course, as always.
And the next episode will be in the new year, so see you later.
Everyone have a good new year if you're listening to this beforehand.
Have a good new year. Bye.
Yeah, happy new year.
See you. Bye.